This is Murray from Second Time Tech, and today I'm going to show you how to use the mixer that I have powered up and how to adjust the channel so that you know that you're not getting any distortion, and also the proper line level out. Line level is 0 dB, which means that it is 1 volt of audio coming out of your mixer, and it's like a constant, so that you know when somebody says they have line level, you know what the maximum amplitude of what's coming out of there is. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the mixer that I decided to keep, and if you've been watching, you know that it is the Behringer model number Q1002USB. And I said yesterday or the day before that I wouldn't be able to do this, but the only thing I can't do is add it to the video that I'm doing right now, the audio, because I'm using my smartphone and I can't get the audio from this onto my smartphone because I upload it directly from the smartphone onto YouTube. So I don't do any video editing on it, but I can show you how to do all this stuff. And you'll be able to see it because this here program that you're looking at on my monitor is a DAW, and this DAW is called Audacity, and that's the one I was talking about the other day, and that's the one that I said that I was going to use. I have it set up to be stereo, and I'm going to show you how the microphone can be put on one channel or put on the other channel or put on both channels. And that was the thing that I really liked about this style of mixer. And so let's get started. Now, this is my mixer, and as you notice, I have the USB cable all hooked up already. And that's because I was playing around with it to make sure that everything worked okay. And on my last video I found out that you couldn't see the bottom of the mixer, so my third take of this had to be scrapped, because if you can't see what's going on and you can't hear it, it's not much good. So we're doing our fourth take now. Now this unit, whenever you power it up, there's a little LED right here, and this LED says power. So what we're going to do is we are going to take the power cable and we're going to plug it in. And when we plug it in, the power light should have came on. You're going to have to tell me because I can't see it. No, I'm just kidding. I'll put it down and look. Nope, yep, there's the power light, so there's power. Now, that's all there is on this right now is power. The power plug on here, some of the reviews that I've seen on it, people were complaining that the power plug will pop out. And I believe that to be true if you were on the job, if you're doing live stage, something like this with the mixer. I can see that, because you'd be moving the mixer around and people would be around and accidentally moving the wires and stuff. And yes, it's just a easy thing to, not an easy thing, but it could pop out because it doesn't screw in like the professional units. So if you're using it in a studio like I'm going to be using it, I'm going to put it where I'm going to have it, and it's not going to move, and I'm going to turn the power off and on with the power switch on a power bar, so it's no concern to me that this may pop out, because I'm not going to do that. The only thing that I'm going to be doing is is adjusting these here and not moving this around. So for me, this is fine. And anybody that's doing studio work where they're going to leave it just sit there, then it should be fine for you too. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be connecting our microphone via XLR, which is the balanced input. This is the channel that we're going to be using right here, which is our mic channel 1 input. So let's connect our microphone. Just like the other day, we are going to line it up, and then we're going to put it in, and we're going to listen for a click. There was our click. Good mechanical connection. Give it a little tug, just make sure. Yep, everything's fine. Now let's do our adjustments. Oh, no, we can't. This, my microphone, that's a condenser mic. I need phantom power. Well, there's a switch for that one. So, here's our switch right here. You have to turn this on. You'll be able to tell because this LED over here will come on when there's plus 48 volts going out with phantom power. So, in order for this mic to work, let's turn this on. The light comes on saying that there's 48 volts of phantom power going to my microphone. Perfect. Now we can adjust it. What we're going to do is we are going to first adjust our channel. And our channel starts at the bottom and works its way up. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about the gain down here, the line level. And what we're going to do is set it to 0 dB. Now 0 dB on this one is straight up and down, 12 o'clock. So you're going to set it to that if you have this style of mixer made by Behringer. The next thing is the pan. The pan left, pan right, that's where your audio would be. In the center, both channels. Right beside it, there's a little red LED. If you start clipping, that will turn on because it says the word clip underneath of it. This right here is for effects. It's FX. Now, effects are something like reverb or echo, something like that. Well, this doesn't have any built in, so if I wanted to be able to do that through here, then I would have to get another piece of equipment, plug it into the effects in and the effects out, and then do the adjustment here to get what I want it to sound like. You don't have to do that because Audiology can do that in post-editing. So that's what I will do, even though I'm not going to use the audio with echo or with reverb. Tried that. People said they didn't like it with my voice, so we won't do that. At least I won't. Anyway, the next thing that we're going to do is talk about these three buttons here. This is the equalizer. We have bass, mid, and treble. This will adjust the tone and pitch of your voice. So, if you don't like the way that you have your voice on there, you can adjust it. If you feel like you need to have a little deeper tone to your voice, then play around with the bass, the low. If you want it to be a little higher pitched, then play around with the mid-range and the treble, because that's where you would need to be able to adjust that. So set that up the way you want. I'm just leaving mine, it's called flat, in the center. right here is a switch. This is a high-pass filter. High-pass filter means that it will attenuate the lower frequencies, 75 hertz and below. Voice is starting at around 80 or 100 hertz and goes up to maybe 3000 hertz. So if it's 75 hertz, it's not going to affect your voice. That is for let's say the voltage that's coming out of your wall socket. It's at 60 hertz, and it can produce a hum if you don't have a good ground, or if you don't have, or you have a noisy power supply or something to that effect. Well, what this would do is this will attenuate that frequency so that you can't hear it as well. And that's when you'd want to turn that on. You can do that on the mic channels. You cannot do that on the instrument channels, because a bass guitar, a set of drums, things like that, they go below 75 hertz. They can go as low as 20 hertz. So you don't want to attenuate that, because that's your music. Voice doesn't go that low, so it's alright. You can attenuate that on those if you need to. Now, the next thing is a compressor. Now, what a compressor does is, you'll be seeing it over here when we start to record. You'll see that when you're talking, your voice is going like this, because some parts of your speech is high and some parts of your speech is low in amplitude. What a compressor does is it takes the high parts and lowers them, and then it takes the low parts and raises them. Now, when it takes the low parts and raises them, there is noise floor, so your noise floor that's in there will be raised also. So be careful whenever you're using your compressor. The professionals that I have heard say 10 to 20%. Try not to go above that. If you have to, you have to. But try to stay 10 to 20%. They say that that's best. Now, the next thing right here is your preamp gain control. That's the most sensitive part of your amplification. And as you notice, that it's really close to the microphone in, because you don't want to get any noise in there. It's only like that far away. The other one's like way down here. So this here is the most sensitive part. So what we're going to do is we are going to start to turn this up. When we start to turn this up, we're going to watch this little LED down here, and whenever it starts to come on, I'm going to stop, because that means it's going to clip. So what I need to do first is to situate myself where I'm going to be sitting. I need to put my microphone where I want it to be so that it captures my voice. And so that's almost at my mouth level. And my voice will come out kind of like this here. And over here. If it was straight in front of me, it would get the loudest sound. But also, it would be irritating for me to be right in front of my face. So the best thing that I can do is put it over there and talk normally from here and get my level from here, using the level of voice that I would do while I'm talking normally towards the camera. Okay, so let's start talking, and I'll be using check, test, pop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that usually gets through the whole range of what you need to say for what your voice can do. So, at the same level as the way I'm talking now. Test, test, check, check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check, check, test, test, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check, check, test, test, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check, check, test, test, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check, check, test, test, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check, check, test, test, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you notice it coming on all the time? I've turned it up way too high. So therefore, I'm going to turn it down a bit, and then we're going to check. Oh, it's still going whenever I'm still talking, so I got to turn down even more. So turn down a bit more, then I'll go check, check, test, test. Well, it came on a couple of times, so let's turn it down just a tad more there, and we'll go check, check, test, test, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'll just say it a little bit louder than I normally talk, just to see. Check, check, check. Oh, barely comes on at all, so we should be all right on that one. This channel is now set up. Now, we have nothing coming out of our mains here, and nothing coming out of our USB port right here, because as you can notice over here, this VU meter that's up here isn't showing anything. And I've got this thing set to monitor even before I record. So, as I turn up my mains, you will see the meter that's across here go green and go across. Hopefully it will not go into the yellow or the red, because I don't want to do that. Now, because that's going to get into the clipping. On this unit, oh, shouldn't do that. On this unit, I've got a green, another green, a yellow, and a red. And that's all I've got. The better, bigger units have like 15 different LEDs, and 3 of them are yellow, 1 is red, and the rest are green, so you can actually see what's going on as you're turning it up. I have to get all the way to minus 20 dB before it actually starts to light, and then 0 is the second one, so I've only got 2 lights to look at, and then this yellow light is plus 6 dB, so that's a fair bit higher than what you want, so you'd only want that to come on just for a momentary thing in time when you go check, test, pop, because those sounds, they're like a really instantaneously high amount of volume, so that's why it's okay for them to turn on when you're doing that. But when you're talking normally, the 0 dB, the second one, should be coming on most of the time, and the bottom ones should be either on all the time or almost all the time on this one. So we'll start doing this, and I will be saying the same thing I said before. So, test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check, check, test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Test, test, check, check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Test, test, check, check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Check, test, pop. Well, there now. Now it just started to come on, but it's coming on way too much because it's coming on as I'm talking. That's a little bit too high. At least it's not going up into the red, but that is still too high. So I got to drop it down a little bit, try to get it not to come on whenever I'm talking, and then whenever I start talking, most of the time the bottom light comes on, then the 0 dB comes on sometimes, and this isn't coming on at all, or very little. But if I say the word check, or test, or pop, it comes on. That's okay. It's set up. So, now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down here, because now we have this set up properly. And then, what we're going to do is we're going to look over here. And when we're looking over here, do you see the green going across there? Much easier to tell if you're looking at a VU meter that will actually show you much more of the amount of signal that you're doing. I'm going to be quiet for a second and you watch that green and you'll see how much noise is actually going. There's a fair amount of noise on there. On a good one, like a high-end one I should say, there shouldn't be anything in there going back and forth, or just a little tiny bit at the bottom. But that noise I can get rid of, because this has a noise, Audacity has a noise reduction effect on it. So we'll be doing that, but we won't be doing that now, because I've been making these videos and they're getting way too long, so I'm going to try not to be so long this time. So right now what we're going to do is I am going to find my mouse, and then we're going to hit record. Now, whenever I hit record, you can tell that I'm talking on both channels. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pan here. And whenever I pan here, you notice that I'm only on the top channel. So now I'm going to pan to the other way, and then in a minute or two you will be able to see that I'm only talking on the bottom channel. I think you can see that now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to the middle, and then when I get to the middle, then you'll notice that it is going to be equally on both channels. And there, you should see that probably about now. Now, that's the way that I want to have it. I want to have it so that you can see it on both at the same time. Well, hear it on both channels, I should say, at the same time. Now, what I am going to do is I am going to erase what I've just recorded. So we'll hit stop, and then I will get rid of this, and then I will go back up and tell it to monitor again. There, now it's monitoring the signal again. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk about a little bit about the way that I start up whenever I'm doing my videos, because I'm by myself and I don't have a camera person, so I have to do it myself. And what I do is I hit the record button on my smartphone, and then I walk around over to here and I sit down, do what I need to do, and then I point at the camera. 3 seconds later, I start to talk. And that's so that I know when I'm going to start talking. I gave myself a signal. Now, you carry on, you do what your video is and stuff like this and whatnot, and then at the end, I say bye. I wait a couple of seconds, then I point at the camera again, and that means I'm done. So whenever I'm doing that little bit of editing that YouTube allows you to do, whenever you're uploading it from your cell phone, I can use that little editing thing and get rid of everything before I point at the camera, and then everything at the end whenever I point at the camera, so I can take those parts away, and then you don't see me walking around and sitting down, and you don't see me getting up and going to turn off the camera. So that's a little thing that I do. The other thing that I have to start getting used to doing is clapping 3 times and being quiet right at the beginning. Because when you're quiet at the beginning, whenever you're doing your noise reduction through Audacity, you need a few seconds of quiet time so it knows what the level of the noise floor is, so that it can sample it, and then it can get rid of it. And the reason why I clap 3 times is so that whenever I start my video editing, whenever I do start to do it with my Nikon that has really terrible sound, then I'll be able to sync the audio perfectly to the audio track from the Nikon camera, because I'll be able to see the 3 claps, and I can line them up perfectly, and then once I do that, I can lock it to the video. I can delete the audio track from the camera and keep the one from Audacity that I have all pre-produced, and then when I do my editing, my video editing, when I'm doing the cutting of my video, the pieces that I cut out, and then stitch them back together again, it'll have the right audio track to do it against. So I'll have it done properly. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to do that so that you can see what I'm talking about. I'll do it quickly. First of all, I need a start. Hi, this is Murray from Second Time Tech, and today I'm going to show you an easy way that I like to use in order to start and finish my videos. I've looked at some other and tried to figure out ways that I could do it so it's easy for me, and this is the easiest way for me. Thank you. Bye. There, and that's what I do. I hope this helps. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned something or that I helped you with something. If you like the video, please hit the like button. And if this is something that you think would be worthwhile watching, like my channel, then please subscribe, and I'll have more videos. I'm trying to put out some, not every day, but I just started the channel, so I'm trying to get one out a day right now. And most importantly, I do want to wish everyone a wonderful day. Thank you again for watching and listening. Bye.